When I was about 8, my dad had a dream that he started a pinata business. He worked in the public service at the time in a pretty boring but respectable job, and my dad, with zero experience in the creative industries or in running his own business, went to work that very next day and quit. I'm sure his managers were astounded, and I'm sure my mum was even more so, but my dad was determined. He was really, truly gonna do this. I don't remember much about this phase of my family's life, but what I do remember is that my bedroom had a view to the garage where he was working on the pinatas. I'd fall asleep every night watching his silhouette through the window as he shuffled around this makeshift workshop, working on paper mache formulas and balloon density late into the night. Sometimes 8-year-old me had to test the pinatas, but he had this really bad habit of making them too tough. Imagine 8-year-old me with a baseball bat, desperately trying to smash this pinata, but getting more and more stressed because as I'm trying to smash this pinata, it's not smashing, and I'm looking at my dad and he's getting more and more annoyed because he knows that means that his formula doesn't work. Anyway, he eventually settled on a soccer ball prototype that he was happy with. He listed his business in the business directory, and guess what happened? He didn't sell any pinatas. And then my parents got divorced. Awkward. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't take massive risks for the things that you're passionate about. I'm not saying that you shouldn't follow your heart, but I'm saying that the way that society is pitched following your dreams to us is broken. We pedestal these stories about people who have followed their dreams, but the important parts are often left out. We only hear about the end bit, the success bit, but not the bits that make it work along the way. Now, I know a thing or two about following my dreams. I've done it a lot throughout my life with varying degrees of success. I've toured Australia as a musician. I became a national radio presenter at 24. I've won awards in advertising, and now I have my own business. But also because I've worked in the creative industries for more than 10 years, I've seen a lot of people who have followed their dreams, and some of them now are literal global stars, and some of them never made it. And there is just one difference between the people who succeeded and the people who didn't. The ones who succeeded didn't follow their dreams, they built their dreams. So here's how you build your dreams. Start it before you start it. The first mistake that a lot of people make when they decide they're gonna do it is that they start to see it as this big thing that has to be perfect from the get-go. I'm gonna launch it exactly like this and I'll get exactly these results. So they buy all this gear and they put heaps of work in, sometimes years of work, and then usually one of two things happen. One, they put so much pressure on themselves to make it perfect that they spend the rest of their lives making it perfect and never actually doing it. Or two, it's been so built up in their heads that if they manage to do it and it doesn't get the reception they imagined it deserves, they get discouraged and they stop. The antidote to this is to start it before you start it. Start messy, start small, and iterate fast. Like if your dream is to start an online business where you teach people how to make jewelry, before you write, plan, film, and launch the course, first test if people would actually be interested in it. Put a waitlist in your bio and then see how many people click on it. Because I can tell you this, the dream that you think that you want is often going to change along the way. And the people who succeed are the ones that have tried 20 different things while the first person is still obsessing over that one thing. Starting doesn't have to be this big, perfect moment in the calendar. In fact, it really shouldn't be. Inspiration is vital, but unreliable. There's a famous quote that's been attributed to a bunch of different authors who all look like this, so just imagine this guy saying this. I write when I'm inspired and I see to it that I'm inspired at 9 o'clock every morning. For creative people, one of the hardest things about following your dreams is that dreams are so driven by inspiration, but inspiration is so unreliable. People who succeed in building their dreams know that action doesn't follow inspiration. Inspiration follows action. This is a terrible truth to face as a creative person because it feels so shitty forcing yourself to do something when you're just not feeling it. But I think it was Ali Abdaal who said, you can't expect business results with a hobby approach. And relying on inspiration is a hobby approach. Like imagine hiring a fumigation business to take care of your cockroach problem, and after a week they haven't done it and you ask them why and they say, because we're waiting to be inspired. If you're truly serious about building your dreams, you got to treat it like a 9 to 5 in your head, even if you have a 9 to 5 already. And I know that feels like death for a creative person, but trust me, it's not going to soil it or ruin the sanctity of it. And you will be inspired more often if you take action first instead of waiting on inspiration. Also, hit subscribe so I can keep making videos like this to help you find your thing. The work rarely speaks for itself. I work with a lot of businesses and creators and creatives, and one thing I hear very often when I ask someone how they're going to promote their product is this phrase: the work will speak for itself, which is code for we think that it's so good and people are going to love it as much as we do, so we don't need to promote it. This is a classic case of the IKEA effect. Have you ever thought how it's kind of shitty that IKEA furniture is so expensive even though we have to build it? So why do people keep buying it? It's because of the IKEA effect, which is a cognitive bias where people place disproportionately high value on things that they helped or created. When people get home and put all that effort into building their Snigler, the effort they put into it makes them see it as more valuable. This is the same with people who create their own work. They're too too close to it to see it realistically. And look, I'm not saying your work isn't good. I'm just saying that other people don't have all of that context and care and time that you've spent on it to understand why it's amazing. You've spent so long on it, so of course you think it's incredible, and you should think it's incredible. But it's your job to give other people all that context of how you got there. You have to speak for it. You have to advocate for it. Like, look at this email that Tyler, the creator, sent to a label. To me, this signifies an attitude that he had early on that is the reason that he succeeded. It is not cringe or bad or shameful to self-promote. If you believe in yourself that much, if you believe in your work that much, it is your job to get others to believe in it too. And that means understanding that they're going to start from a position of not believing in it yet. And yes, of course, there are times when the work is so spectacular that it does speak for itself, but it is so rare. Maybe you don't need to monetize it. We see following your dreams as taking big, daring, bold risks. But sometimes following your dreams is just a lot quieter than that. Sometimes it's having a good job that you like but don't love, but it earns you enough money to follow your dreams of hiking on the weekends. Sometimes following your dreams doesn't mean making it your entire job. CC, my dad, if you're watching this. This culture around following your dreams makes you feel like unless you're monetizing it or making it your everything, you're not doing it right. But maybe for you, your dreams are less world takeover-y, and that's okay. Now, this is personally not the case for me. I do have dreams of world domination, but not everyone has to feel that way. Sometimes the real win is respecting the sanctity and privacy of your relationship with that thing that you're passionate about. Like, maybe you don't want to be a musician who performs around the world. Maybe you just want to perform in your room. Or maybe the idea of owning your own business really stresses you out. Or maybe you literally just don't even know what your dreams are. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with not wanting more than you have, so long as you're happy with where you are. Don't let anyone make you feel shame for that. Hey, if you want more videos like this, hit subscribe so I can keep making them for you. Bye.